these two nitwits, and I will say to them separately, I'll say, I'll run into Mike and I'll say, Mike, Chris is killing you. And Mike will look at me, and there's that knowing look in his eye because
he's buying it.
He absolutely, because he believes that.
Oh, I definitely believe it.
Mike and the Mad Dog host an afternoon talk show that is blown away #1. And if you've ever heard it, you would find yourself saying, why? Because Rather is the man.
Rather's a jerk.
I like Brokaw. Well, Brokaw's great. Like, what's not to like? Rather's on his program a lot, and he can come on whenever he wants. Just simply because Brokaw's smarter than he is. I don't think that bothers him at all. Mumbles, Brokaw, owns a radio station in Rapid City, South Dakota, and I guess now he's thinking about putting the program on. It's the most popular morning radio program in the history of this medium. And this moron is thinking about putting it on in Rapid, in his little hideous, stupid hay baling station there in Rapid City, South Dakota. Congratulations to Tom Brokaw and people at Mutiny News.
Right.
Mr. Brokaw once again prevailed in the weekly Nielsen News cast ratings. I think we should all go over to 30 Rock and beat the hell out of him. There's no reason that Rather and Brokaw can't be fighting it out for #1. Well, this is a segment of Jim Russert and his father in Buffalo was in a bar.
There you go. See Russert bringing back the empties.
Loudmouth.
That's the big week.
I thought Russert was, I don't know, a little phoning, little kissy face with
effusive
and
showing his true colors.
I wrote Russert kind of a funny facts, sent him a funny facts, and it hurt his feelings, he said. It's another example of me just not knowing where the line is, I think he's almost the best on television at interviewing people. I love Russert,
Well, of course, man.
Brother's also a tramp.
No, I'm not, and you're a jerk.
You're a double jerk. My brother is stupid. Fred?
Yeah,
You're an idiot.
I am.
You ball-headed old fool, because my brother's a gangster. I love you, Fred.
I love you, bye.
We are in Infinity Broadcasting Headquarters, New York City, syndicated around the country on the radio by Westwood One Entertainment and simulcast on the stupid MSNBC.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., which is the only time anybody watches MSNBC.
Oh, you know something? You're
Is,
great.
is in the morning, and the rest of the day is pretty much a washout. So, which is why even Laura Ingraham got another job at CBS News because she recognized that nobody was going to see her on MSNBC, right?
She has a career to think about.
Anyway, Miss Ingraham is a political and social correspondent for CBS News and MSNBC, and she's a former speechwriter for George Bush.
Oh, please.
Well, who was it?
Gary Bauer, who is the domestic policy advisor for Reagan in 1987 at the White House. The Reagan, the real.
What's this attitude? God, I got something wrong. I have a headache.
You're already criticizing one of my places of employment, MSNBC.
You
Did they use you to do the Christmas special, The Grinch? I mean, were you the model
know.
for that show?
You know MSNBC is dreadful. You know that.
You're ridiculous.
So anyway, hey, you know what was funny the other day? Your little friend Eric Liu, what's his name?
Eric Liu, he's
Yeah.
a little friend. He's very nice.
He's a diminutive little fellow.
Yeah.
Former Clinton speechwriter.
Yeah.
And they're talking about Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
And he says, and I swear to God, you can get the tape. He says,
I
well,
don't make tapes.
he says, well, they have to be sure to keep her on a short leash.
That and having the bag over the head line is not good metaphors to be using with the first lady.
No,
Short leash?
yeah.
I love it.
So it's probably the Dick Morris influence.
Hearts 2 in 1.
So how are you?
I'm great. As a matter of fact, I thought of you this weekend. I was I had to give a speech in Florida. I was down in Fort Myers. Had one of these epiphanal moments. It's Thanksgiving, so we should look at things that make us thankful to be alive. And I get off the plane, and I am going down the road in the car. This beautiful vista, kind of farmland, dotted with little picket fenced houses and little farm machinery shops and so forth. Sun was out. The sky was blue, about 80 degrees, left this horrid weather behind.
What are you writing, a novel here? Tell me a story.
Will you stop it? You're rude.
All right, I'm sorry.
Rude. No
I
wonder
apologize.
that former woman quit working for you, the one who tried out at the Broadway show. Anyway, so on the horizon, I look up and this just beautiful sight, blue and golden shimmering off the horizon. Super Walmart. Super Walmart, McDonald's, they had a vision center, they had a pharmacy, they had a farm product store, absolutely everything in one place.
1 hour
And
photo finisher.
exactly. And you know something, it made me glad to be an American, because now all these senior citizens aren't endangering the rest of us out on the street by having to drive all over creation to do their errands. And you know, actually, they might have taken it a bit too far though, because I was walking around in there, and they actually have a 2-for-1 on radial keratotomy now at Kmart, which might take the
Walmart.
free market thing a little far. But
Walmart has ruined more communities in this country.
this is an example of why you have
And
become.
I hate Walmart. I hate everything about Walmart.
You have become
Yeah.
an elitist
No, I haven't.
snob.
Absolutely
Yes, you
have
have.
not.
You
Have
are a
not.
protector
No.
of yuppies,
No,
and they're
absolutely
right.
not.
Let me finish. They're right to shop at inconvenient boutiques that sell flannel shirts that you have to call Visa to increase your line of credit to buy.
That's just not true.
Salsa, it's $500
That's just not true.
salsa.
No,
Exactly.
it's absolutely. Why are you siding with her? I hope she has a job for you that pays what this one You ever been to Winslow, Arizona? They Walmart ruined Winslow,
Good.
Arizona.
What do you mean it ruined
And
it?
I'm not
People-
talking about little boutiques. I'm talking about little
Right.
mom and pop general stores where you could go in and get
they
a.
had to compete. They had to lower their prices.
Oh well,
People-
they're disgraceful people.
Only
The people who
yuppies,
shop there ought to
only
be
yuppies
upset.
who can buy $80 flannel shirts.
Are you talking to me? Get over it.
No, I'm talking to Ms. Ingram.
You leave Miss Ingram alone, you small-headed
I'm
Nazi.
talking to you.
And we're being lectured to by Laura Ingram from
It makes
MSNBC.
you glad to be an American. You had everything in one place. It's all reasonably
it's just-
priced. And, you know,
it's junk. It's junk made in Taiwan. That's
it
the
is
first
junk
thing.
that is junk that is being bought over this country
It's
by
junk.
people who can afford it. And
It is
by the
junk.
way, I want to
It's
ask you,
jobs.
is there something going on at Auto Body Express with the catalog sales this year? Because I'm walking down the aisle near the little snack bar there, and I look over and this guy is frying up burgers. I could have sworn it was Fred. Totally looked like Fred. And I heard him muttering something about this gosh darn foreign competitors, and then he was saying something about, and I have this manifesto I'm trying to publish too.
Well, my brother has nothing. My brother has no problem with it. In fact, we have a Japanese version of the Auto Body Express calendar. I mean, catalog.
I bet it's cheaper.
It's just that. Well, no, it's not. We're,
Pictures are
because them
probably
little
better
buggers
too.
will
I've
pay
seen
for
those
anything.
pictures. So you try to come off as this working class, you know, from the railroad, from the uranium mine. You worked your butt off, and you have become a protector of yuppie elitism. Imus in the morning is becoming a yuppie and going after Walmart. And you went into a tirade last week on Walmart.
You know what I'm going to do on my vacation? I'm going to go around and torch Walmart. Well, I wanted to talk to you about Newton and about this new campaign now to try to discredit Kenneth Starr.
That's
which
funny.
seems to
That's
be a
what I
little
wanted to talk
absurd,
about this
but-
morning too.
So we'll get to that in a couple of minutes. Can you settle down and stop screaming at me, do you think? I don't feel well, I have a headache.
He bought a $900 cat.
Oh, I heard about that. God, that's dreadful.
Why? Chuck?
Cats are just hideous.
Oh, no, I love little Chuck.
Just vacuum it up. Just if you get the Hoover Super Suck, you can vacuum right up with just.
Oh, man, I
Sent
hate
it off to
you.
terrorists.
Put it up.
Here now, live from Santa Fe, New Mexico, the owner and operator of the Auto Body Express, my brother Fred Imus. Good morning, Fred.
What's going on?
Well, not too much. Are you upset with Miss Ingram now?
Hey,
Well, I
Fred.
think she ought to get her facts straight before she starts criticizing me. That's what I think.
Well, what are the facts here now?
Problem.
The facts are most of Walmart employees are part-time, so they don't give them any benefits.
All right.
I pay 3 times the money that Walmart pays. And I had an employee out for 6 weeks that had a baby.
All right.
She got her paycheck every week.
Oh, you're a
I've got
wonderful.
one
Oh,
off
you're
right
wonderful,
now.
Bless you,
Fred.
Fred.
We should have a federal program that has everyone being as nice as Fred.
I've got one off right now that has an operation,
Yeah.
and she gets her paycheck every week. She will get it for 2 weeks. She will get it for 2 years. I don't
That's
care
it.
how
I'm
long
calling
she's
the
off.
Nobel Committee.
But I mean, to
That is
criticize
it.
the Walmart's
It's
the
official.
crummiest place in the country, and they don't pay. I pay 3 times the money they
Walmart
pay.
employs thousands and thousands, probably tens of thousands
And
of
they
people across
pay
this
them no
country.
money. You go work. Hey, why don't you go work for Walmart?
Fred, man.
Practically do.
Get rid of Fred. Fred,
Yeah,
obviously.
you're vicious.
My
today.
brother's obviously angry.
Go back to bed.
And go back to bed and
Go find your teeth.
Go
Then
find
call
your
us.
teeth and glue your hair on it and call us. God almighty.
Snap your hair back.
But my brother's right. Walmart, they have all part-time employees. They don't get many health coverage. They screw them to death. They sell a bunch of junk from Taiwan, and they ruin communities in this country.
We don't need another federal program mandating what businesses do. They can get away with giving no benefits. More power to them.
No, you're a Nazi.
Good.
It's,
That's why their products are cheap, and your brother's products are completely ridiculously expensive. For yuppies who can afford, for yuppies who don't want to spend time to buy their families gifts and Christmas presents, have
First
to
of
go
all,
for a
let me
catalog.
explain something to you. You see this denim jacket?
So
You know what
great.
you'd have to pay for that at Ralph Lauren or
No
Bloomingdale's?
one wants to buy
$220. You can't make enough of them. Or to be honest, you can't make enough of them.
First of all, you shouldn't
It's
use the
not-
American flag in a disrespectful way in a jacket like
We're
that.
not using
Totally.
Respectful way.
That-
It's a respectful
No,
way.
I don't think so.
You have no idea. You
Using the American flag in any clothing or ornament like that is inappropriate.
it allows
You have
people.
to burn it now, because otherwise it won't be according to most state statutes and flag desecration.
It's not helpful. When we're trying to move product.
As long as you stop, don't.
What?
Fred wants to vent some more.
What's the matter? What now, Fred?
What'd you cut me off for?
Well, because.
Well, she hasn't got a clue about politics either.
Well, yes, she does. She's a liar.
She has not a clue about politics.
You're an angry white man.
Ask
You're an angry
Brokaw.
white
Man, go
man.
ask
Fred.
Brokaw what he thinks, or Mike Wallace what he thinks.
Get my brother off the
The
air.
rubber doll must not be giving it up or something, man.
God almighty.
God,
What? Maybe she's getting sticky and
Well,
he's...
what happened? A rubber doll probably got a hole in it.
his tray is not in the fully upright and locked position.
It is 11 minutes till the hour, and I am Iverson Mike. We're talking with Laura Ingram. We're trying to talk with Laura Ingram, who's all upset at my guy, James Carville. Why? Tell me why.
He, as you might have heard on Meet the Press on Sunday, he announced that he was going to start the quote, and this is the name of it, the Education and Information Project, which will be a campaign to discredit the prosecutorial integrity of Kenneth Starr, who, as you know, is the independent counsel investigating Whitewater and a bunch of other ethics issues involving the president. Carville claims that Ken Starr is merely a, quote, bitter partisan who Carville knows detests President Clinton and thus cannot do a objective job. And I gotta say to this, it's kind of bizarre behavior. I mean, Ken Starr hasn't really been saying anything and hasn't really done anything yet. And certainly there was no October surprise, contrary to Lawrence Walsh, who, as you remember, issued indictments right before the election in 1988. And his report, just listen, okay? For a change, try to learn something.
Why you're here.
Because
That's why you're here.
yeah,
I'm
you're
listening.
rolling your eyes.
No,
because
I'm
you
not
always
rolling my
protect
eyes, but you're just going on and on here.
Well,
Yeah.
listen, and the point is, it's bizarre behavior. The only thing that explains it, the only thing that explains it is that the White House is really worried. They're really worried that Ken Starr's investigation is coming forward with things that might or might not be criminal wrongdoing. You've improved your looks 100%. With that thing you just put up your nose.
Don't do that.
It's better than taking the gum in Amazon.
Are you going to chew that now?
I do think it is. I agree with you. I think it's a little bizarre to attack Kenneth Starr because it reminds me of what they were doing with Archibald Cox during the Nixon thing. I mean, what's the point? I don't get it.
And remember, we had a similar outburst in September by the president, who started also completely unprompted or for any real reason, started attacking Ken Starr. Again, at that time, they were beginning to launch this preemptive strike in an attempt to discredit Mr. Starr before any indictments or anything else. Maybe no indictments will even issue. We haven't heard anything yet. I mean, I say just let the guy do his job and actually do something novel for a change. Actually release documents when they're subpoenaed.
Yeah,
I mean,
tell the truth.
Yeah,
Well, actually do as the New York Times and the Washington Post and people like Richard Cohen and other people who you would least expect to suggest the following, and that is that for once the people in the White House started owning up to stuff and telling the truth about things. I mean, that's...
Yeah, I mean, Carville's complaining. One of his complaints is that Ken Starr is dragging his
You leave
feet.
Carville alone, he's my guy.
Is dragging his feet. I know that's the best thing he has going for him is that he likes you. That's a good sign.
He's
So
a
he,
stand-up guy, isn't he?
the most powerful voice in radio.
Can you, I saw,
That's nauseating. Don't play that anymore.
I saw Carville on, and don't wear that outfit anymore. It's a Halloween deal.
Walmart.
What is it?
Oh, that
What is
is
it?
vicious.
Oh, okay, Mr. Pastel, whatever that is you're wearing.
This
That's
happens to
frightful.
be a made in America
Oh, I'm
Lucchese
sure.
cowboy
Looks like
shirt.
it walked in here by itself. How much starch do you have on that
Quite a
shirt?
bit.
Oh,
So,
my goodness.
the body like mine, you need a lot of starch.
Hold it all together.
Yeah. Oh, you got me so upset. I don't know what I was going to ask.
But I mean,
Shut up and listen.
yeah,
Go
the
ahead, Laura.
point is, he's been complaining about Ken Starr's foot dragging his feet on this whole investigation.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say.
Let me finish my thought, and then your caboose of thought will follow.
Now, as I was about to say,
He's muting me. He's muting me.
go ahead.
It's the White House's fault that this
By the way,
thing
you
has gone
shut
on.
up.
Would you let the...
Or you'll be over there, wins reading the news for 80 grand a year.
The guest finish a
You
statement.
be quiet. Why don't you shut your mic off and just mind your own business? Go ahead. Ms. Ingram.
Any delay in this investigation by Ken Starr has been perpetuated by a White House which refuses to turn over document, which finds them on tabletops,
Yeah.
which they levitate them and they suddenly appear out of nowhere. That's why this thing has taken so long. If they've actually handed over the documents.
Stonewalling.
Here's what I was going to say. I saw Carville. I got the feeling he was not totally serious. I think he was just trying to
I
nibble. his
read all
wife.
the news reports that followed this and
Well,
interviews.
anyway,
and he's
well, it's
totally
just one of the
serious.
news reports accurate about any of
Well,
this
no,
stuff.
he's given subsequent interviews about this. No, he's very
Well,
serious.
you
He's
think
going to
he's
raise
serious,
money.
Charles?
He probably
Yeah, he's
is
very
some
serious.
kind of a disinformation.
Well,
Floated a balloon.
Yeah, I think yeah, exactly. 10-4 Bernie. Live from Santa Fe, New Mexico, my very rude brother,
Really?
Fred Ivins, was very rude to Miss Ingram, Fred. Weren't you?
I'm never appearing on your show again. See if you can get Jeep Eagle to sponsor her.
I think we could get Jeep Eagle to sponsor.
She talked about those government programs.
Yes.
For affirmative action, she wouldn't even have a job.
Ooh, that's some fighting words, Fred man.
Well, I'd read her thing on the internet, but it's hard to read in Crayola.
Here's
Shut up and comb your face.
And I got an NBC catalog the other day.
yeah.
And they sell clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
They sell shirts for the same amount I do, except they're imported.
Yeah, from Taiwan. How about that? Same amount of money. What do you have to say about that,
Oh,
Miss Ingram?
Just like the news, she has not a clue what she's talking about.
You leave her
You
alone,
want to
Fred.
replace F. Lee Bailey.
Why has this turned into a
I
huge
cannot
fight
compete
here
with
this
the
morning?
legal reasoning and
Hate
deductive
radio.
reasoning of Fred Ivins.
just get along?
So you're very rude, Fred. You
Not
apologize
rude.
for
I
Miss
said,
Ingram.
I'll tell you when I would have had to apologize.
Grow some hair.
Let me tell you when I would have had to apologize.
What,
If
Fred?
I could have found the phone number when she first got on, that's when I would have had to apologize.
It's 11.
But now I don't have to apologize.
My brother-
I just said what I think.
Fred, I love you.
Here's
I think
what's
you're
interesting.
great.
My
I
brother,
hate you. I hate Lori. I hate her.
my brother has been calling this
If she
program.
works for CBS, I'll never watch Dan Rather again. You can tell him
Never
that.
watched him anyway.
My brother.
I used to like Dan Rather.
My brother has been calling this program for 10 years.
Yeah.
He has no idea what the phone number is, does he?
He still doesn't know. That old speed dial function is complicated, isn't it, Fred?
She was just talking about how much she liked you, Fred, and how overpriced your products were. Of course,
They're not overpriced.
I know she was just kidding about
I'm just
that.
kidding, Fred.
And I hate her.
It's 12 minutes.
It's not working. The olive
You know,
branch is being
let me tell you-
completely spurned.
Now, let me tell you why I know he doesn't hate her. Because did you notice how much that blow-up doll looked like Laura?
Yeah.
Huh?
I posed for that.
Except I didn't dress the doll in clothes from a garage sale.
Jesus! This is out of control here.
Fred, I think you need to go back to all
Yeah,
your
you
yuppie
really-
neighbors there and, go sit around and have a coffee cappuccino clatch over there and talk about how you're going to pay people so many benefits and, let them stay home with their sick children. Oh, please. You're such a humanitarian. Seriously, Fred, I'm calling the Nobel Committee.
Here's a serious question I have about. Do you know who Victoria Tensing is?
Where's Bo Dietl when you need him?
Oh, he's still there. He's like a
know.
latent virus. He's just still in your system. You can't get rid of him.
Leave my brother alone, brother. What's the matter with you?
I love him.
Do you have Bo Dietl's number?
No, Fred, we don't, and you don't either. Do you know who
Okay, do you have OJ's number?
Get him, Bob.